thank you very much tonight. It's wonderful to see you again here. And I'm always excited when I think about all this stuff. Life is not always easy, let's remember. Life is full of problems. If you came through a day where you haven't experienced a problem, come and see me afterwards. Because maybe you're in a world that we can sell to other people. You can become rich if you can sell that world, a world without problems. But all of us got problems, but if you can solve the problem, you can make money and you can get rich. And it is, the other nice thing about problems is that, somehow if you've solved the problem once, you go over it more or less, it doesn't appear all the time again in your life again. Solve the thing and solve it properly. So that it can sort of disappear and you can go further in life, but you will definitely encounter another problem. Tonight we come to step 5, that's called labor. Now you will ask me, how on earth can you tell me that labor is a step in life, You must realize that more or less you work, about a third of your life you work, whatever you see as work. Work is not only to get a salary, but washing the dishes is work. You're working in the garden and whatever. About at least a third of your life you're working. At least a third of your life you're sleeping. So that's also a very important part. But the point is, how on earth can you just think of yourself that you work 8 hours a day? You hate every hour of it and every minute of it, but you're gonna get rich. It is just not possible. You cannot live a life that you hate intrinsically, and then you expect some progress to flow out of it. Yes, it's not wrong. Not all of us can start with something, and you like everything that you do. But at least you need to get to a place where you need to bring the joy into the thing. There's a verse of scripture, and it is here, Ecclesiastes 11:9, that says, let your heart make you joyful. Maybe I start out with a job that's not always so nice, but at least I can make it nice. Because it's not necessarily forever and so, but I need to, if I can't be faithful in what I do now, I will not be, what is the
rewarded.
word? Sorry?
Rewarded.
Not rewarded, you go to a higher promotion, you will not get promoted. So don't worry about, what is the job that you do in the first place. It is how you do the job. It's the attitude that you do the job with. It's the discipline, the excellence in the thing that will promote you. It is not the job that will promote you. Just start to live life with excellence. Whatever you do, if you do garden or at home, if you do your washing, or you do your car, or you do your job, whatever you do it with excellence. Do it with pride. Put yourself in it. See it as a manifestation of who you are. I mean, I hate it when I see all these houses that people, they just pluck on, here and there. I know I am overspending on my houses, but when I see this, when something is wrong, I want to fix it, I want to fix everything. I want to make it a beautiful place. I told Marianne, when we married or whatever, we always had a problem in our life in terms of housing and stuff, We stayed in small places, But we always said to each other, if we can enjoy this, the Lord will promote us to something bigger and better. And it happened like that. And when I look today, to my, let's say, people with 1 or 2 bedroom places, when I finished the place, I thought, I can live here. This is a nice place. Doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 bedrooms, because you make the place. When you get in there, you start to change it. You do the gardening, and at the end of the day, the place become what you are. And that is what life is all about. And I don't mind what work you're doing at the moment. I don't say, if you're not enjoying your work, really, I think you must make a plan. But the point is that in the first place, it's not what you do. It is with what attitude you do it, with what discipline you do it. Do you really put yourself into the whole thing? Because people will promote you on the basis of the type of person that you are. 85% of your success will not depend on your degree and what thing you've studied or whatever. but will depend on the way you live yourself as a human being in your work. Are you faithful? Are you disciplined? Are you available, you know? Are your attitude something like you bring people together, you create a team? 85% of your success will depend on that. Because today, one of our biggest problems is to find people that are really proud about themselves, that are really proud about living what they're living. You know, I think I've already told you, I once knew a farmer in the Free State. He was farming with mealies, you know, all his life, you know, but his heart was in vegetables, you know. And but one day on the farm there came a man to ask for work, you know, and he said to me, sorry, we've got enough workers, you know, and there's no place for you, you know. And the guy looked him in the eyes, he said, you know, you're making your biggest mistake in your life today. You know, he thought, yeah man, that's a bit of arrogant, eh? He said, you know, I'm the best worker on this farm and you will never know it before you have not given me a chance to show it to you. He thought to himself, yeah, this is really arrogant, eh? But maybe, let's try it. He said, okay, I'll give you 3 months and then you can show me. And he was the best worker on the farm, all the way. So one day he decided, listen, he as the farmer want to change over into vegetables. So he thought about, you know, going to Woolies, you know, and asked them for a contract and whatever. They said, no, that's full. All the contracts are out, you know, and, you know, you do all this effort to get in Johannesburg, you know, for a farmer, it's very stressful, you know, and walking down the stairs, you know, and the moment he went out the building, he thought to himself, you know, but this is not right. He just turned around, he went back to the guy, he said, well, listen, I just want to tell you, you've made your biggest mistake today. I'm the best farmer in this country, but you don't have the opportunity to know it because you don't even give me a chance in it. You know, the guy looked at him, he said, man, where are you from, you know? So he said, well, let's give you a little contract, you know, and so he started with this little contract as a test, you know, and he became one of the biggest producers in the country. He said, there's a place where you need to become proud of who you are, become proud of what you know you can deliver. It's not a question of boasting, but you know you cannot deliver. It's a question of, listen, if you cannot believe in yourself, who will believe in you? If you cannot promote yourself, who will ever promote you? You know, if you are not convinced about something where you're going in life, where will you find a person that will tell you where to go? And you've got all the right in life to start to believe in you. Because number one, there's only one of you. There's not two of you. There's only one of you with the creation purpose that you have. So it's not a question that, you know, when you believe in you, you are a competition for me. You are never a competition for me. We are no competition for each other, you know. But we cannot manage a world with lots of people that, you know, that's just sitting at home. I see today, you know, they say we're paying millions and millions of rand to people in government that's sitting at home, you know, it's never even working, you know, whatever, you know. And somehow people don't even worry about it, you know. I'll get worried about it because I was made to work. Work was something that God has given to man, so that he can live, so that he can give expression to the fulfillment and the joy that's in him, and present it and serve other people. You were not made to do nothing. You know, we always think of, you know, the wealth creators. They are on the, you know, in Hawaii, and they on the strands, you know, 2 months of a year or whatever. You know, just be honest with yourself. Going to Hawaii, you know, the first day, you know, we swim, and the second day we're on a boat, and the third day we fish, and then the fourth day, you know, we read, you know, and the fifth day we already have a problem. What are we going to do? Okay, let's repeat the whole cycle, you know. After 2 weeks, at least, you know, you're at the point, you know, where holiday becomes maybe a bit boring, because we were not made for holiday. We were made for this earth to tend and keep the earth. Genesis 2 verse 15. Man was put on earth to tend and keep the garden, and to work in the garden. Work was given before the fall of man. Work was given as something that's part of your creative purpose. I mean, there's nothing so bad as especially a man that does not work, because it's degrading, and it's not a question, number one, of salary. It's a question of you don't see the significance in your life if you can't do something you can see. Hey man, I'm making a difference. We were made to make a difference. one of the things of fatherhood is to live a life of significance. And significance means to make a mark, to change things for people. And you are that type of person. You can change life for people. You can make life better for people. But we call it work. You know, that's not a good word, but that is what it is. It's called it work. So you need to make peace with work, because you need to repackage it, not as a consequence of the fall of man. No, it was something that was part of the design of man, that he had to work so that he can give expression and make life better around him, so that things can progress to a better point in life. I mean, wherever you go, you must leave whatever you have in a better state than you got it. You know, I always say to myself, you know, whatever people give me, a house, it's always better than what I found it. And when I drive around, you know, in town, you know, and I look at all the places, you know, you can see my houses because they stand out like this, you know, because it's beautiful. They always painted. There's no dilapidated, nothing or whatever. You know, and lots of houses fall apart, but you will see them. I found a guy, he said to me, listen, I've been driving around in town and I know where's 2 of your other houses. He said to me. I said, where is it? He told me, and I said, you're right. He said, I could see it. It's the same. You're doing the same thing everywhere. And it's standing out. It is visible. I said, but that's the point. It is, you need to be proud of it. How do you want to get decent tenants if you've got a crappy place? Then you want decent people to live in a crappy place. Because decent people are looking for decent places. And although maybe tenants do not always think they are the best people on earth, there are still human beings that believe something about themselves, although they are a bit ashamed about it. If you can say it like that. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just not always educated in a certain sense to express it, you know. But they love it when you give them something. Why? Because it speaks to them that, listen, you are for me a person of value, and I want to give you a place that according to the value of what you are. I mean, I want you to stay here and to be proud about what you're staying here. You know, when you stay here, this is your house. You plant it, you put stuff on the walls, you go wild. Why? You make it. I remember one of my tenants, I tell you, when you get there, you will be sure this person, they're going to stay there for the next 100 years. I mean, hulle is so ingegrawe daar, you know. I mean, there's not a place on a wall that's not covered, you know, or whatever. It looks so beautiful. It looks so personal. Why? Because there are also people that, you know, they settle, they change things, you know, they also don't phone you for everything that's a problem, because they fix it themselves. You know, I see myself here, you know, I want to change this place. You know, when we first came here, you said, but this garden is not up to standard, you know. Why? Because we need to lift it up. When people come here, they must be proud about the garden, and the garden looks like nothing. It's not supposed to be like that. At any house. Okay. So, but the point is, you need to make peace with labor and start to enjoy it and start to look forward to whatever you do. And yes, there are phases in life. And yes, you can maybe start out with something and then you conquer it and there's no longer a challenge in it and you can move over to something else. Yeah, that's true, that's fine. Doesn't say you must do one thing for the rest of your life. But the point is, you must enjoy what you're doing. You must see it as the way that you express yourself and that you can be proud about it and you love it. Because this world was made for us to love it. Jesus says in John 15 verse 11, for this I came into the world that your joy may be full. You were born with joy in your heart, you know, but your joy becomes full when you start to live the life that's really the life that's inside of you. I mean, I love it living here. It's as if we, for the first time in our life, you know, we live what we experience and what, you know, what we've thought about, you know, and we can do everything that we've planned in our lives. And it gives you joy. It corresponds with the joy that's in your heart. And when I wake up in the morning, you know, I'm so excited about the day that's coming. Even though we're going to work hard. Because it's going to be a nice day. We're going to make progress. We're going to make money. We're going to have places and things and write books and present stuff. And it will change people. It will bring them to a better place. Is that not enjoyable? Is that not nice? That's what every one of us was made for. But you need to start to think about yourself as that type of person. And you don't need to become spiritual or a preacher to have that thing. I mean, the fact that you fix whatever in people's lives bring a better dimension to their lives. You know, the Lord will reward you for everything that you do for people that makes their life better from giving them a glass of water, says the Bible. Everything from there, spiritual or not spiritual, you will be rewarded for. You will be rewarded for your work that you have done as if you've done it for the Lord. Yes, the person paid you, but the Lord will still reward you. It's true. That's it. But luckily he's got a big computer there. He writes down everything, and you will one day see the movie of your life, where you've made a difference in people's lives. You know, that's one of the things. It's maybe not part of this, you know, why we have a thing, we call it the 40 barakah. You know, when someone becomes 40, you know, you've sort of worked more or less 15 to 20 years, you know, and more or less you've paid for other people, you know, you think, you know, where am I going? Is there still a place for me? And that's where men get the midlife crisis type of thing. But just to stop and to tell people, listen, let me tell you what is the difference that you've made in my life. In terms of what you've done, in what you've said, in what you are, you know, and what you're living. Because we are all making a difference, but we're not always thinking we're making a difference. Because we think, you know, everyone is like this. No, we are all making a difference. And you must start to say it to yourself and acknowledge it and be proud about it. Because that is what God has given you. I mean, God has given you all these talents and gifts, you know, just live it to the full. Okay, so the facts about labor, as we've said, that the command was given before the foundation, before the fall of man, to work and to keep and to tend the garden. Man was created for work. It is not just something that God added along the road. Work was given as a way to give expression to your fulfillment that you have in you. The big purpose of work is not in the first place to make money, because there was not even money involved in the Garden of Eden. Yes, now after the fallen state of man, sort of, you know, and the selfishness that's still on earth, we have a monetary system where we evaluate people's work and what you get, you know, at the end of the day. That's not wrong as long as it's got good morals in it and the value system is okay. But in essence, the big purpose is not in making money. The big purpose is to live life. And to just acknowledge that my thinking must not be every day, you know, I must make money, I must make money, I must make money. In John, I think it's John 6 verse 24, it's saying that this is the work of God, that you must believe in Him. This is actually the big work of God, that you must believe in Him. Now what does that mean? What do you believe God is telling you to do? I mean, despite if there's maybe, I always ask people, what will you do if no one's going to pay you? You know, what are you going to do? Forget about the pay at the end of the day. What is there in your heart that you want to do? I remembered when all the doors closed for me after studies and whatever, and I had to sit down and say, listen, I can do lots of things, but what do you really want to do? And I listened to my heart, and I went on with what's in my heart, and my heart produced everything that was needed for the process further on. Because everything is in your heart, even the money. Your creative purpose is already financed. You came with the finances. The big problem in Moneywise is not for you to make money. It is to get the money out of you. The money is in you. So you need to create a process and a culture and an atmosphere that will attract money to you, that will attract people to you. People want to do business with people that are, you know, of good courage and joy and integrity and whatever. You become like a magnet. You draw people. It draws people unto you. And I remember I once had a friend, you know, I don't see him now any longer, very far away. You know, he was selling cars. And well, he was actually a preacher. But then, you know, he doesn't fit into it. And then he starts selling cars, you know. But people loved him so much, you know. He was so involved with people. He was so, you know, interested in their lives, you know. when they come and I show them the cars, then he tell them, listen, there's not a car for you here. The car that you're looking for is unfortunately not on my stand. You know, he was just honest with them. And they were so impressed with his integrity and his honesty and whatever, then they often said to me, listen, you so precisely know what I'm looking for. Go and look for me for the car. I want to buy the car from you. Then he went and he looked for the car and he said, this car, you can trust me, this is the right car. You see, but people first buy you before they buy your product. And the key to business and work and whatever is you. You are the key in everything in your life. What you are is the key. Because you are what you are in your spirit. And your spirit world is a world of life and love and joy and excitement and positiveness. That's what's in you every day, all the way from birth. Do you have connection with it always? No, maybe not. Maybe yes. But the more you can have connection and get that flow, and let it flow into a strategy and a plan and a strategy and some activation, you will start to see that life in you will start to lift it up to a dimension that's far bigger than what you could bring it in terms of work. You work, but you know it's God's blessing on your work that makes you rich. There's a verse of scripture, it's Proverbs, it is not the work of man that makes him rich, but it is the blessing of the Lord. Yes, we work, but I mean a guy like, what's our guy with Microsoft? I mean, they never plan to become rich, you know. They just plan to help people to have something better in their business world that can solve their problems, you know. So wealth is always an outflow of what you use. Are you only using your body, or are you using your soul also? Are you using your spirit? What are you putting into your work? The more you put all your dimensions in, and the moment you put your spirit dimension in, I tell you, you want to do what you do. If there's salary at the end of the month or not, you don't even worry, because you are more worried about the fact that you love what you're doing than the fact that there's maybe going to pay or not to pay. It's not wrong you need to get paid, because the worker is worth his pay. That's not the point. But the point is, the moment you get into the spirit realm, you know, man, the money is around here. Just go on. Just do it. Do it with all your might, and the money will start to flow in from different sides, depending what we're doing. The problem is in society is not, it doesn't lie in labor. It lies in us that are not fulfilled in ourselves. Because as we've said, money makes you happy in your soul and your body. But the gospel makes you fulfilled in your spirit. And the moment you have a fulfilled person, you know, you have something different in life. Because you have a person that's been driven from the inside. You don't need to check on him all the time, you know, sit to him, you know, and all this what. I mean, it takes initiative, you know. He just do more than what's expected from him, you know. I never think of myself, you know, I can't think of myself in terms of a job description. I mean, it is for me impossible to think about myself like that. You know, when I walk into, I found myself, you know, when I walk into Checkers, what was it, a few weeks ago, you know, there was some stuff on the ground. I thought, you don't walk here, I put the stuff on the shelf, and I thought, that's better. It needs to be on the shelf, you know. You know, no one's going to pay me for that or anything, but you know, it's like, fix things, you know, fix your surrounding, make it better. It's not the point of whether I'm going to pay you or not, or have they seen you or not. It's not the issue. The point is, wherever you go, people must say, listen, if you were here, something is better here. People must, I remember this is, you know, I was not very good in athletics in my days. You know, but I realized, you know, I was missing out. You know, I was this guy that was just, you know, a bit more brainy and, you know, into the books and whatever. And I said to myself, listen, let's go and do athletics, you know. And I decided, you know, because I always was number 10 in the 100 meters, you know. And I thought, that's become boring after year 5. You're still 10th, you know. It's never changed, you know. So I decided one year, listen, this is the end of the story. We're going to make a difference. We're going to do things differently. Let's be the best, you know. No, you know, not in terms of, I'm not in competition with people. I just realized, listen, put something in this man, you know. And I'd wake up, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I would do 5 kilometers. I don't know what else, you know. You just do 5 kilometers because I know nothing about what is it, being fit or whatever, you know. And here came the season, and I enrolled myself in all 15 items that was available. All 15. The problem was, number one, I fall out on one of the 15 because I broke the pole. What is it? Pole. So I decided, okay, let's make it 14. Then there was another one that's a 3,000, another a 10,000. That's 3,000. That's too many effort. So let's put him aside. And I won all the other, all 13 of them. I won. I couldn't believe it. Suddenly people say these things. I remember it as a child. One of the teachers came to me and said, "It's incredible. Whatever you touch becomes gold. How's that possible? No one knew about you. Suddenly you won 13 items. How's that possible? Last year you were nothing. Now you won 13 items. You go right through to the Free State, whatever stuff." He said, but the point was just, I became sort of proud about myself in the sense to say, listen, I can do also these things. I always knew I will not be the winner in the Free State, because the problem was, the moment we get there was no one training you, and there's only 3 or 4 people in the school. So you had to train yourself. It's a lonely business. But when we are there in the school sport, there was lots of people. It's nice, it's activity, and it's interaction. But the point is, listen, you can live whatever you want to live if you can make up your mind. And say, listen, I don't want to do this. I never wanted to do it to show that I am better than other people. I just decided, listen, I can do better than number 10. And I decided to do better. And from that day on, I enjoyed it. And it became part of my life. Although I know I am not really an athletic person, let's say by nature, if you can say it like that. But I enjoyed it up to a point, and it was nice. And it is the same with work. Whatever you can touch, you can make a success. But you need to believe it, otherwise it will not happen to yourself. What is your relationship with the captain of the ship? Do you really believe the captain? Do you really trust the captain? Do you really not obey or respect the desires of the captain of your ship? Because that's your guideline, is the desires in the heart of the captain of your ship. You need to honor it. Okay, we were made to rule over creation. Man was the head of creation. We are the captain of our own ship. At the fall of man, work became a curse, if you can say that, because there was all these distils and stuff, it was no longer only enjoyable. But Jesus changed it at the cross. That's very important. Jesus changed it. He took out that because He brought us our joy back. Because it's not that the work changed, it is that there's much more resistance from the outside, but God gave us again back our joy, with which we can override the resistance on the outside, that things not always work for you in terms of what you've planned. Also important is to understand that there's no such thing as secular, spiritual, full-time, part-time, all that stuff. That's nonsense. That's plain religious terminology. There are 2 structures in the world, namely a business system and a family system, and we are all part of both. We are all part of relationships, we are all part of business and money. So you need to conquer money and relationships. I don't mind what you are, what your personality are, what your gifts are. You need to conquer it, because that's what life is all about. That's actually the only 2 subjects that you need to have on school. It's relationships and money. And that's the 2 things we never learned in school, because people don't know this stuff. Okay, so forget about those stuff. You are full-time involved with money, you're full-time involved with relationships. You're supposed to flow into people's lives, you're supposed to flow in ideas and creativity and good work and excellence. It's supposed to be the normal in life. Why do we want to work? What is the purpose of work? We need to work because there's needs that we need to provide. And it is my responsibility. Whatever I eat, I must provide for myself. And the biggest other reason why I must make money is because there are other people that doesn't get things together, and to help them along the way so that they can get things together. Money never wants to sort of, let's say, stop. Money wants to flow. Money wants to have a flow. Never accumulate money and let it stop with you. You must invest and you must get out of it and reinvest and let it flow and sow in other people's lives, or do some stuff with it. Money needs to flow. It must not sit still. It is not a good thing. We need to share with other people. The end result of money is to provide bread for the world, is to do good works, is to be a blessing and a satisfaction. Labor teaches us to live with discipline. That's very important. These things are self-explanatory. Labor teaches us to focus, to be productive, to preserve, to be faithful. When I look at life, when I look at different nationalities or whatever, it's not a right and a wrong. The moment in houses, you get certain nationalities that haven't taught their children the beauty of discipline and life and work and whatever. You get the tendency among people that they become just sort of purposeless. They don't live for something. They only live day to day. They become sort of lazy. They always want to do the least, to pass with the least, And it's not a question of those people are not good people or they are not excellent. They are. They've just, through their raising, they've been cultured into a culture of, this is the way it is, We must not work, Work is actually not so good, The more we can just sit and do nothing. It's not from God. Yes, we can overwork also on the other side. That's also true. And we can run after things and we don't have time for relationships. But the point is not, the issue is not with man. The issue is not that there are bad people in this world. The issue is that people were raised wrongly. They weren't raised with pride. They weren't raised like, listen, we are proud to be part of this family. To be proud of a family and call yourself a certain surname. And to be part, of my father and my mother and whatever, and my brothers or my sisters. You need to be proud about it, because that's the biggest key in your life. Family is the biggest key to wealth creation and wealth preservation. Family. And the moment you see people that don't live family, I tell you, they will battle to live a good financial life or a good because they will live for the stuff. They will not live for life. Life is bigger than work. But listen, if you cannot even work, alright, how will God entrust you with the rest? If we cannot be faithful in the least, and the Bible says to us that money is the least in the kingdom of God. If you cannot even be faithful with the least, the Bible says God will not entrust you with the other. And that's where I was, what's the word? I was prompted to study money. Because I always said money is the least. Okay, at least when we sidestep the least, it's not a big sin. The only problem is if you sidestep the least, the better and the bigger will stay away from you. And we started out here in our story, with a congregation in the Moed area. And I realized, that the number one problem of men is finances. Number two, the sexual. Number three, how to handle a woman. So I realized we must help the men to sort out their finances. Every man that was sorted out in that group in terms of his finances became successful in his marriage, in his work, in his investing, and in his community. Every one of them, and every one of them that didn't break out at that stage, it was, many years ago, are still today when they were at that stage. Still today, just surviving, just going on. Because the biggest thing that a man needs to conquer in his life is finances. Because that's the door to the bigger thing. The Bible says it. If you are faithful with the least, I will give you the bigger and the what's the word there? The better and the bigger. We must conquer it, and conquer doesn't mean you must become whatever millionaire with many millions. Conquer means you must conquer it in the way you live with it. Are you disciplined? Are you focused? Are you on your way? Are you on the path that God has set out for you? That is the thing that you must conquer. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added. And we always said, okay, man, I must just go and sit and pray and read the Bible, and everything will come. That's not what it is saying. It says, seek ye the kingdom of God. What is your place? What is your kingdom? What is your role in your kingdom? What is your plan in your kingdom? What is the strategy and what do you need to do? Just do it and the rest shall be added. The money shall be added. You've got the creation purpose. That's basically what it says. Find out, live it, and the money will come for it. That is the biggest key. We don't look for the money because the money is not an end in itself. The money is a means to an end. We want the money, of course, but it is not the focus of my life that I live. Is to have a certain amount of money, because then you have the money, but the money bring you stuff, but that's not in essence the end of your creation purpose. You only got then the means to do something. What do you want to do? I mean, if I found time, I sat down and I write and whatever, because I know there's a purpose in my life. That's not what you must do. What must you do? Find it, and then you need the money to do it, because while you're writing there, I'm not getting paid for it by anyone or any person. I need to have the money for it, because you need money for everything you need to do in life. And just settle for it and understand it is the normal and live in it. Okay, be productive. Labor brings you back into the school of life. Unfortunately, there's no school that's effective except the school of life. It's the only school that takes you forward. It's the school of life. We have many degrees in life, and I'm not against degrees. It can help you a lot, but people are salaried according to to degrees. But that does not, when you talk to a person, you see that's not really the key to their lives. The degree is good when you need it. Of course, I want to drive over a bridge that was designed by a civil engineer, not by a housewife.
By Julius.
But the degree is not the proof of the success, if you can say it like that. You must understand that you are the proof of your success. What you are inside here, that is what the world is looking for. And when you can mix it with a certain expertise, then you get more exponential explosion at the end of the day. Labor teaches you how to stand under authority, to work in teams, to conquer the outside world and to conquer your inside world. It teaches you how to become productive, because time is very important. It's our most precious commodity. It's time. You cannot have today back. It's gone. And you only have about 240 paychecks in your life to make your life work, to make your mark, and to get the pension. 240. It's not so much. Now it's 480, not 240. 240 is 20 years. 480 is 40 years. Most people don't even work 40 years, but let's say 40 years. And you need to bring things together in that stage. So you need time. And I've lost lots of time in my life by doing that. Okay, so we can just slow down to say that remember that your job description and your pay slip is not your identity. That's good. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. But never evaluate yourself according to your salary, to your bank account, to your job description, to your salary slip or whatever it may be. Have those things, but you are always bigger than all of those things. And let me tell you, your plan and a creation plan upon your life is always bigger than what your salary slip will be able to provide. So you need to think outside of it. That's why God is going to force you to live in faith. Except when you force yourself, just into this little box, and you live this boring life and just, making ends meet because I don't want to go in the uncomfortable, unknown zones in life. You better get out there. And whatever amount of money you get in terms of whatever, the Lord will always stretch you a bit wider. Why? Because He wants to keep you dependent. It's one of those things in life. And take it on, just live it. Don't worry about it. Stop worrying that I need to be in control of everything. Yes, manage everything as far as possible. But you will never ever be in control of everything. It's impossible. You just need to trust the Lord that, as you've done your part, He will do His part. Jy doen jou bes en die Here doen die res. Ek sê altyd vir my kinders op universiteit, dis, you know, you do your best and the Lord will do the rest. That's life. I will never be in control of everything. I'm not supposed to be in control of everything because I'm not here to control you. I can manage my own circumstances, but I'm not here to control everything. I'm here to live a life of faith. I believe that if I do what I was sent to do, that the rest will start to work. When I do it with a kingdom attitude, with kingdom principles and kingdom values, it will start to produce because it produces from the inside out, not from the outside in. Money is produced from the inside out and not from the outside in. You can work yourself rich, but you're going to be very, very, what is it?
Frustrated.
Moeg, jy gaan baie moeg wees.
Tired.
Life is supposed to be nice, you know, it is supposed to be, you love it, you know. I can feel the day has drawn some amps, you know, but you know, it's fine. Let's stand up tomorrow again and we do it. I mean, why? Because there is a flow in you that's far bigger than just what the life and average can demand from you. If you have made peace with labor and understand that labor is basically a lifestyle where you need to present the kingdom that's in you on the table for other people and enrich their lives. That's what labor means. Is to present your gift and your part, that you are here because you were sent from heaven with something of some part of some skill from heaven to bring to this earth, to put it on the table with confidence, with whatever that word, you know, with proudness, to put it on the table. Yes, it's only a little bit. You're not here to save the whole world. You're not here to take over everything in this world. You're here just to put your little part on the table, and the Lord will bring it together in relationship with all the other parts, and He will make something beautiful out of it. But you will get your reward. Thank you very much. Any questions?